The Washington Commanders traded both of their star pass rushers during the trade deadline. And to be honest, I don't really like it. I really don't like it. And now this is a team stuck with a not great coaching staff, to say the least. But at least they had a pretty good roster on paper before. But now I wouldn't really say that. So today we're going to bring in the greatest coach of all time, Mikey McDingle. And we're going to try to save this team that just seems to keep trending down. And y'all apparently really enjoyed the last realistic rebuild I did. We easily hit the like goal of 500 within the first day. Easily destroyed it. So let's see if we can get to 1,000 likes for this, I guess, special realistic rebuild in honor of the Commanders blowing up their defense. And imagine if everyone liked this video. We would be at like 15,000 likes. I would very much appreciate it. And if we hit 1,000 likes, it'll let me know that y'all want to see another realistic rebuild. And once we hit 25K, I have something very special planned, which is kind of a mashup of two of your guys' favorite types of video. Is that even English? I don't know. But once we hit 25K, I'll do that. So be sure to subscribe if you like Madden rebuilds and you want to see some crazy stuff happen. And let me know down below what rebuild I should do next. You can let me know a crazy idea, or let me know if you want me to do one of the trade deadline rebuild. Like, I guess the Raiders without all their coaching staff, the 49ers with Chase Young, the Bears with Montez Sweat. Let me know down below. And if I pick your comment, I'll give you a shout out. But without further ado, let's get into this rebuild. And let me explain myself why I so heavily dislike them trading both of their pass rushers. There are quite a few reasons why I don't like this, but I'll try to summarize it quick. If they would have traded one of them, I would have liked it. Especially if, well, I wouldn't say especially, but if they just traded Montez Sweat for what is probably going to be almost a first round pick, like a second round pick from the Bears, that's probably going to be a really high pick, I would like that. If they traded Chase Young away just on his own and didn't trade Montez Sweat, I would have been okay with it. They invested a lot in him, but I understand just having to pay him and the whole injury thing. You don't want to pay him a shitload of money and then just have him get injured every year. Like, you don't want to get stuck in that situation. So I would have understood, but to trade both of them is just weird to me. I know you don't want to pay 4 guys on this defensive line, but now they're paying 2, and both of them are defensive tackles. You don't have any edge rushers anymore. Like, Casey Two-Hills looked fine when he's come in, and James Smith-Williams is like fine, but this team is going to be awful, or at least I'm assuming it'll be. And that doesn't really even address the problem of this team, which is the coaching staff. Like, I've said for a few years now, this is a pretty good roster on paper. It's just, it always underperforms. Now, they don't have a great quarterback in Sam Howell, but he's done all right, and this offense has done all right. It's been the defense, for the most part, that's been bad, and they had, think about it, I mean, Kendall Fuller's been good this year. This D-line on paper was amazing. Maybe the best in the NFL, which is maybe crazy to say, but it was a very good group. Cam Curl and Derek Forrest is a good safety duo. I mean, Forrest hasn't been great this year, but still. In your linebacking core, I mean, it's been underperforming for sure, but Cody Barton's been all right in the past, and Jamin Davis has been pretty solid this year. So, you know, if you have a good defense on paper that isn't just riddled with injuries completely, which there have been a few, but not too bad, I think you have to look at the coaching staff. Not that that's some controversial take from me, but I wouldn't have minded if they just cleaned house in terms of coaching staff at the midseason instead of trading anybody away. But I maybe would have really liked it if they did clean house for the coaching staff and then traded one of the pass rushers away. And maybe Jonathan Allen too, because he doesn't really seem like he wants to be here, and they could have gotten pretty good value from him. I don't know though. But that's all I'm going to talk about that. I mean, y'all have probably heard a million people talk about it. I'm sure not many people do love what they did. I mean, they got decent return, but I didn't like a third for Chase Young to begin with. I mean, it's fine, but they spent like the number 2 overall pick on him not that long ago, and he's been good. So I don't know. Well, good when healthy. But I already spent a lot of time talking about that, so I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the rest of the team. But I will say, we'll see what we can do with Sam Howell. We'll see if we can develop develop him. But if not, it wouldn't be too hard to draft a QB, especially now that we are going to have a decent amount of picks. Did they trade for 2 2024 picks? Is that what they were, a second and a third this year? I guess we'll see. We're also definitely going to have to address this offensive line and the tight end group and linebacker and edge definitely now. Maybe even corner if we can't develop these guys. We're in for a rough one here, so buckle in, get a drink, get a snack, get whatever. Let's get into this rebuild and let's get to the midseason point of year one, and we'll see how this team does in simulation now without Chase Young and Montez Sweat. I'm scared to look. Oh yeah, and by the way, not to plug again, but if you want my full trade deadline take reactions, go subscribe and turn on notifications to my second channel, link in the description. That should already be out there by the time you are seeing this video, so if you want to be one of the first like 1,000 subscribers over there, be sure to do it. But yeah, that's about what I expected. We are 1-6 at the midseason point of year one, so we're doing great. We actually got our first win of the year against the Giants in week 7, so I guess we were winless until then. At least we're not going to go 0-17 or something. And we have some upgrades, I guess. I might give Sam Cosmi star dev. I feel like he kind of deserves it, but I don't like giving dev traits because it's kind of cheesy, but I feel like Madden gives weird players dev traits sometimes. I don't know. Oh god, we have an upgrade for Emmanuel Forbes. I didn't love him as a prospect, but I didn't mind the pick for the Commanders because he's a good scheme fit, but holy shit, he's been terrible so far. I know rookie corners struggle, but Jesus Christ. On the bright side, though, we won't have really many players to re-sign, will we? We might. Cam Curl, I thought they already paid. Maybe I don't have... Did they? I don't know. I guess I'll have to check. But Kendall Fuller here too. Curtis Samuel, if we want to bring him back, we could just find an upgrade there if we want to. James Smith-Williams, I guess we can bring back if he does well. But it's a lot of low-level starters or like just backups towards the back here, so we'll re-sign Cam Curl for sure. Let's offer him 4 years, 31 mil. That seems cheap, but he takes it. And Kendall Fuller, again, kind of cheap, 2 years, 26 mil. He re-signs too. We just got Kendall Fuller and Cam Curl back for 20 mil per year total. That doesn't seem right, but we'll take it. And the rest of these guys, we'll just wait until the end of the year to see if we want them back. But that's all for us to do here at the mid-season, so let's get to the end of the year, and we'll see if we finish with a super good pick. That's really the only positive that'll come from this year. Ooh, okay, well, I'm glad we won that one game, because we finish 1-16, which I think is fair. I think this offense might be decent enough on paper to win some games, but if this defense was bad before, it's probably gonna be fucking terrible now. Like, probably the worst in the NFL. Maybe. I don't know. Was it all that bad before, or were people being dramatic? Let me see. Well, it's not too bad. They do apparently allow some of the most yards per attempt in the NFL, but they have a decent amount of sacks, but that's obviously going to go down the drain now. They're like 6th in sacks, but yeah, that's going away. And their run D is like the 10th worst-ish for like yards per attempt, so that's probably going to be going down too, unless they got some kind of plan. I don't know. But let's check out, let's see what went wrong this season. Ooh, okay. Sam Howell was awful. 3,100 yards, 21 touchdowns, 22 interceptions. If he threw like 5 interceptions, this would be a pretty good year, but 22, that's not great. He's doing a lot better than that in real life. He isn't doing as well as I thought he would, but he's doing decent. He's fine. And Brian Robinson, 3.3 yards per carry, only 790 yards, 7 touchdowns. That's not gonna cut it. Our leading receiver was Terry McLaurin with 800 yards, so apparently this offense just sucks, is what I'm learning. Oh, okay. Charles Leno allowed 16 sacks in 975 snaps, and Braden Daniels allowed 15 in just as many snaps. So I experimented with like the young guy. That's a terrible sentence, but you know what I mean. And that definitely didn't work out, but I really did not like Braden Daniels much as a prospect, so I guess that makes sense. And on defense, Jamin Davis led the team with 132 tackles for loss, 13 for Allen, 12 for James Smith-Williams, 10 for Daron Payne, and the sack numbers look great. 6.5 for Allen, 2.6 for Payne, 2.5 for Casey Toohill in 1,000 snaps. How many does he have in real life, and in how many snaps? He has 4 in 108 snaps. I mean, that's not really sustainable. If you make that like 1,000 snaps, that's like 40 sacks, but he should still have more than 2.5. Same with James Smith-Williams with 1 in 1,000 snaps. This game sucks, dude. Like, that's way too low. Someone told me to up the sliders. Like, I should know this. That's not where I meant to go. I should know this, but does that do anything in simulation? I thought that just did stuff when you actually play the games. Is that even something you can change? I don't see. I don't know. But I guess I forgot to check interceptions. They're definitely not great. 2 for Jamin Davis and Khaleke Hudson, and then 1 for a few players. So that's what? 7 total? That's not great. And of course, MVP goes to a division rival, as usually happens in Madden. It goes to Jalen Hurts. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Cooper Kupp. No Commanders. Shocker, I know. And Defensive Player of the Year goes to Vita Vea. I feel like I've seen him win it a decent amount lately, or at least more than I ever have, which isn't unrealistic, but I don't know if he's quite that level of player, but he's really good, obviously. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Bijan Robinson, and Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Devin Witherspoon. Emmanuel Forbes at number 9. At least we had someone up there for 1 award. It's not great, though. Oh, God. The Titans went 13-4. The Giants went 11-6. The Falcons went 12-5. This is definitely an EA moment, for sure. But now, let's see what we can do in the offseason, and hopefully we can upgrade this team a little bit, because it definitely needs it. And Madden apparently thinks the 2 best teams are the Chargers and the Falcons. I hate to break it to you, bud, but I don't think that's true, necessarily. In fact, those 2 teams might be the worst in their divisions. Well, no, I guess the Raiders exist, and the Broncos too, but the Panthers exist too, so I guess that's not necessarily true, but I don't know about those 2 in the Super Bowl. But now for the rest of the players we're gonna have to re-sign. I guess we'll pick up the 5th year for Jamin Davis. I mean, $8 million is pretty cheap. I'm surprised it's that cheap. We'll definitely do that, and then Antonio Gibson, we don't really need back. Curtis Samuel, we don't really need back. We don't really need any of these guys back at all. James Smith-Williams, 1 sack in 1,000 snaps? Yeah, I don't think so. I think I'm good. Khaleke Hudson got star dev. We'll re-sign him. 3 years, $8 million. That's incredibly cheap. He re-signs. The bright side about this, which, you know, I'm not used to after the last rebuild I did, is we're gonna have a decent amount of money with 82 mil. So let's get into the offseason and we'll see if we can make any signings to this team. I sure hope so. Good Lord. But here in free agency, there are some decent players. We just can't really get any of them, unfortunately. A lot of them aren't interested, or just we don't really need them for some of them. But the most interesting one is, I guess, Chase Young is here. The 49ers didn't re-sign him, and he is interested, but I just don't think it's realistic to sign him after trading him. They traded him because they don't want to pay him. So, I mean, we could do it, but this is a realistic rebuild, and I don't think that's realistic. But hey, I guess you never know. And you know what? I was gonna decide against this, but we will go for a receiver. I guess we could go for Gabe Davis. Oh, we're the only team interested. Okay. So we won't be super expensive. But these are the other players we're going for. It's nothing crazy at all. We're just trying to fix our major problems from this year. We're gonna go for Gabe Davis, like I said, and then Jadeveon Clowney just to try to provide some pass rush. He's normally really good in this game. We'll see what he does here, though. We'll go for Cam Robinson, and if we get him, we'll just straight up cut Charles Leno. I think this saves money, and Charles Leno was terrible. We could also try to trade Charles Leno. We might try that. We'll see. And then Chris Barnes, just, you know, we need linebacker. He's been pretty good for the Cardinals. And then Yosh Neiman at right tackle, or however you say his name. Again, because we didn't get great play at right tackle. I don't know why I closed out a free agency, but one other major thing I wanted was running back, but there isn't really anyone here that I want other than Austin Eckler, but the Texans have like a full interest offer on him, so I can't get him. Devin Singletary isn't usually very good in simulation. Pretty much none of these guys are, so we'll just wait until next year to see if there's a good running back, or hope that Brian Robinson just randomly becomes good. But let's see if any of these players want to sign. Nothing crazy here, but Gabe Davis does sign, but he's the only one so so far. Austin Eckler goes to the Lions. Amari Cooper goes to the Texans. Chase Young to the Giants. That's interesting. Interesting signings here. But now let's see if any of these players want to sign. We get Jadeveon Clowney and we get Yosh Neiman, whatever. Still waiting to see if Cam Robinson or Chris Barnes want to sign. Chris Barnes does, but Cam Robinson still doesn't. I guess we can offer him player friendly. I don't want a long deal like that though. 2 years, 25 mil. Let's see if he takes that. Oh, we're out of simulations. So let's get to the next week and we'll see if he signs now. He still doesn't, but all the other teams pulled out, I guess. What? I've never seen that happen. So does that mean he's gonna sign? I guess it does. Yeah, that's weird. I've never seen that. And now we still have some needs on the team, obviously, but this is gonna be a long rebuild, so we still have many years to try to figure that out. God, I hate that he wears number 24. I'm changing that. I don't care. I don't want Clowney wearing 24. We'll go 90. So now I'll work on a trade for Charles Leno, maybe, and we'll get to the draft. But here we're going to be doing another trade with the 49ers. We're going to send Charles Leno over there because Trent Williams, another player this team traded to the 49ers, retired. So is this maybe a lot of value for Charles Leno? Probably, but who cares? They scammed us a little bit with the Chase Young trade, so we'll scam them back a little bit, I guess. But here in the draft, we have the number 1 pick, of course. Something that isn't gonna happen with the Commanders in real life. Like, I wish I could start from real life, but if I do that, I can't use my custom rosters, and I want to use them because I like them a lot more than the EA ones. So it's a compromise, but it's one I'm willing to make. I just wish you could use custom rosters and start from wherever. I mean, the stats would be a little wonky, but who cares? But with the number 1 pick, it's pretty much a no-brainer here that it's gonna be Jeremy Parrish. I wish he wasn't 23 years old. I mean, it's gonna be a little harder to develop him, but elite throw power, elite strength, good ratings across the board. The throw on the run sucks, but, and he's not very accurate. I mean, is this just Will Levis? I mean, nah, Will Levis is a little quicker, but not great accuracy. I don't know, I've just been seeing a lot about Will Levis lately, so he's like fresh in my mind, and that's kind of who this guy reminds me of. But with the number 1 pick, we are gonna go with Jeremy Parrish out of Cal, and hopefully he is a good player. Well, that's kind of rare now. He doesn't have a dev trait. I thought first-round QBs always have a dev trait now, but apparently not Jeremy Parrish. You hate to see it. Did have 97 throw power though, but still. Okay, well that was low-key unlucky. Now I definitely want to shift our focus to the defensive line though, and I think the best option is Russell Milton, unless there's like a power rusher outside linebacker, but no, there isn't. So power rusher is our scheme for, I guess, both sides for edge rushers, or the rush end spot, and Russell Milton's like a freak athlete. 4.6 speed, which is good for someone who's 277 pounds, 38 bench reps, and then first for both jumping stats, I guess, and then pretty good 3-cone and 20-yard shuttle. This dude looks really good. He is going to have normal dev. He does have good discipline, but has bad injury, so that definitely makes me think he'll have normal, but I guess you never know. Has all good traits pretty much, so I don't know. Even if he does have normal, he looks like a good player, so let's go with Russell Milton out of Kansas State. Okay, he does have hidden dev. 90 strength for someone who's 277 pounds is very good. God, if the quarterback we took had a good dev trait, we would be doing amazing so far, but that was just unlucky. This seems like a good pick though. And now this is the Montez Sweat pick right here. What do we want to do with this one? Ooh, I wish I had this guy more scouted. Ooh, this tight end also looks really good. There's some good looking tight ends here. Ooh, okay, do we want the faster guy or do we want the guy who's stronger? Downey has poor acceleration though. That isn't great. This is kind of tough. Downey's a better blocker, but a little slower and much worse acceleration. God, I don't know. This is tough. How about Kitchens? Is Kitchens good? Not as, I don't think he's good at all. Both of them lack discipline and have simple concentration drops and have the exact same injury rating, so I almost just want to take both. Which one's younger? Harper's 21, Downey's 22. I guess that'll be our deciding factor. Let's go with Jeremiah Harper out of Boston College. Well, normal dev again. I think the other guy was the better option, and that's kind of what I was thinking, but him being younger was my tiebreaker. I don't know if that was the great decision. In the last pick I'm gonna show here, I guess we'll go with Mac Davis. I was gonna go with Donovan. Are they both named Davis? Yeah, Donovan Davis, which I guess I still maybe could. We could end up getting both. No, Mac Davis will probably be gone. But Donovan Davis has like he has F injury and lacks discipline, but Mac Davis has really good strength, great strength. He also has F injury though, but he shows good discipline. We'll take him here for our final pick, and he has hidden dev, good strength. We'll take it. Okay, well, here's how we did in the draft, and you know, this would have been a really good draft if we just didn't get terrible dev traits. I would be willing to bet that Milton and Davis both only have star, and then of course Parrish and Harper only have normal, but Parrish is a 77. I mean, he's a top 5 player in the class, obviously. Is he the best player in the class? No, he's, I guess, second, tied for second. This was a weak draft class. I just used the default ones, obviously, like I've said a million times. It was weak, though. It looks like Malcolm Weiss might have been better. Oh, no, he only has normal, too, so I was gonna say, like, there's no way I could really know for sure. I just went with the one who's a top 5 talent, just unfortunately no dev trait. You hate to see it. But Russell Milton will probably end up being the highest overall player from this class eventually, unless Parrish really goes off and develops, but the hidden dev for Milton is very good, so we'll take that. Harper, again, I wish he had a dev trait, but he's a 76 overall. He might be higher than the other player we were looking at, the other tight end. Yeah, he is. Was it Downey? I think it was Downey, right? He only has normal dev too, so we got the better one. This was just a terrible draft class. Good lord. The number 3 overall pick had normal dev too? What about the number 4? Okay, he had hidden. Ian, what's his last name? Eppard? He only has star though, but I guess it's better than normal. This was a terrible class. Good lord. Ty Henry, this tackle's only a 72. He only has star? Yeah, this wasn't great. Maybe I should go with better draft classes. I just usually like the weaker ones because, well, partly because I never remember to switch them to better ones, but you know, it's not really realistic to have like a lot of 85 overall rookies that can turn into like 90 something overalls by the end of their rookie year. But maybe it would be better, I don't know. But I'm spending a lot of time on this draft. Mac Davis, of course, hidden dev, only a 72, but he'll probably start. He looks pretty good. And I think I took these 2 picks, neither of them were great, and then I don't know what the CPU did, not a whole lot. So overall, decent draft. Again, for the millionth time though, I just wish we got more dev traits, but nothing I can do about it now. So let's get into year 2 of the rebuild, and hopefully we can do better than 1-16 this year. It would be hard to do worse, but you never know. And here we are going to be trading Sam Howell to the Raiders for a 2nd round pick. No, this is the Steelers. I'm super tired, but at least I caught myself, I guess. But yeah, we just don't need Sam Howell anymore. I mean, maybe the quarterback we have sucked, but Sam Howell sucked last year, so we might as well try something different. I've seen Sam Howell do well, but he didn't here, at least year 1. So I can't wait to see him like top 5 for MVP. It's gonna make me super upset, and I'm gonna say EA sucks again, I'm sure. But we're getting a 2nd round pick. It's projected to be like 38. I doubt it will be, but if it is, I mean, that's really good value. But yeah, I don't think these picks are gonna be nearly as good as it's projecting. I guess you never know though. We could suck and the Steelers could suck. But here's a look at the team heading into year 2 of the rebuild. We're only a 78 overall still, but of course we have a good amount of younger players, and we hopefully should be able to add some more players through free agency this year. Like, we still have a lot of money available. You know, the good part about not paying Montez Sweat and Chase Young is you're not paying Montez Sweat and Chase Young. We should have a decent amount of money. But of course it is unfortunate that Jeremy Parrish doesn't have a dev trait, but he could get one if he does well enough. He has decent traits, so I don't know if he's gonna do amazing, but hopefully he does pretty well. We'll just have to see what happens. There's not much I can really do about that at this point. We'll just see what happens. And of course, hopefully Milton can do well. Doesn't have the most power moves in the world for a power rusher, but it's still good. We'll take it. So now let's get to the midseason point of year number 2, and we'll see if the team is doing better. I would sure hope so. Okay, well, I guess we're not we're not worse. We are exactly the same. We're 1-6, which I guess that's fair. We're only a 78 overall, but I've seen worse teams do better. I guess we probably are close to the worst team in the NFL, though. Maybe we are the worst. Well, we're a 79 now. I saw the Rams are a 78. The Cardinals are also a 79. So yeah, we're definitely not there yet. We probably would be better if we were actually doing decently well. We wouldn't have so much negative morale, but it's definitely fair we're not doing great. And we have some players to re-sign here. Who is it gonna be? Derek Forrest, Benjamin St-Juste, Sam Cosmi. He's not interested though. Jadeveon Clowney. There are definitely some starters here. I guess we'll start with Derek Forrest, or could we upgrade over him? How has he been doing? Because I mean, he's not a crazy overall. He's a 77. No picks last year, no picks this year. He got a dev trait for some reason, but I don't really know why. He wasn't that good. So at least for now, we're not going to re-sign him. St-Juste is a backup now. How's Sam Cosmi been doing? Oh, very good. I'm sure as soon as we re-sign him, he's gonna suck, but 4 years, 29 mil, doesn't re-sign. That's understandable, but we'll up it a little bit at the end of the year. And that's all we're gonna worry about for now. I guess we can maybe re-sign like Chase McLaughlin, sure, just so I don't have to worry about kicker and punter. But now, let's get to the end of year number 2. I switched the playbooks, by the way, because this is all franchise mode is a game of picking whatever playbook is the best. So hopefully that'll make us do better, but now let's get to the end of year number 2. Okay, well, in year number 2, we finish 4-13. I guess that's 3 wins better than last year, but still terrible. And I looked over the stats a little bit. They're really, really stupid. Jeremy Parrish, 3,400 yards, 23 touchdowns, 17 picks. Better than he was doing at the midseason, but not a great year for a number 1 overall pick. Which, speaking of that, we might have the number 1 overall pick again, maybe, or at least probably top 3, which I guess is the positive note of all this. But Brian Robinson was not very good. 900 yards, 10 touchdowns, but 3.6 yards per carry. That's not great. Jahan Dotson, 900 yards, 8 touchdowns, which is better than we did for receiving last year. Terry McLaurin, only 800 yards. Harper with 600 as a rookie, that's not bad. And our blocking was surprisingly really good. Neiman and Robinson both really held up at tackle. Stromberg was our weak link, I would say, and then Cosmi and Davis both did really well. And on defense, we looked rough. Chris Barnes led the team with 141 tackles. Tackles for loss, 18 for Milton and Clowney, 16 for Payne, 15 for Allen, and sacks, 8 for Allen. That's pretty good. 6 for Payne, that's fine. 4 for Clowney in a full starting season, and 3 for Russell Milton as a rookie. Not ideal. In interceptions, we had 2 for Barnes, Davis, and Curl, and then 1 for Martin and Forrest. And MVP, I also already saw it. It was Dak Prescott. Pretty much confirming that if you use a team, your division rivals are gonna do better, which is really weird, but that's just how it seems for some reason. Jalen Hurts at number 3, too. I'm surprised we don't see Daniel Jones or something up here. Offensive Player of the Year goes to a Cowboy, Eagle, Cowboy, another Cowboy, a Giant, an Eagle. Over half of the awards went to division rivals, of course. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Aaron Donald. Chase Young up there at number 8, now on the Giants. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Kevin Pirine for the Saints. It's so weird that last name is pronounced Pirine. What an interesting last name. But Jeremy Parrish at number 5, Jeremiah Harper at number 6. They both have the exact same face. Darren Stewart at number 9. I don't know who that is. I think that might be our number 2 running back in, oh my god. Roman McMillan for the Rams wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. We get number 2, Russell Milton. We're getting dicked over a little bit in this rebuild. I mean, I know we're not a good team yet, but this feels very unlucky so far. But hey, I guess that is life when you are the Washington Commanders. But now let's get into the offseason and we will really work to upgrade this team because good lord do we need it. The only thing I worry about is what free agents are gonna want to join our team. But in the Super Bowl, it's two teams that suck this year in real life. The Packers beat the Raiders 17-10, because that's realistic, just like the last one. Our two Super Bowls so far, wasn't it Chargers Falcons last year? Has it been 4 real life losing teams in the Super Bowl? Actually, the Falcons might be like 4-4. Yeah, they're 4-4, but close enough. This is a dog shit simulation, straight up. This sucks. This is one of the worst simulations I've ever seen, and that says a lot. But for the rest of the players, we're gonna have to re-sign. Forrest, did he finish well? I remember he had 1 pick, 4 pass deflections. Let's see if we can find an upgrade there. Worst case scenario, we could probably just re-sign him, or we draft a safety. I don't know. Cosme, like I said, I want back. We'll up his money a little bit, and he re-signs. I am not gonna pay Jahan Dotson 23 mil a year. He hasn't been great in real life this year. Neiman will re-sign 1 year, 4 mil. He takes it. He was pretty good. We might draft a replacement, but I guess we'll see. And then Clowney, absolutely not. How was he for the Ravens? Oh, only 4.5 sacks. Maybe he's not as good in this game anymore, because he used to be broken. That's why I was surprised he did so poorly for us. But now we have a decent amount of money with 67 mil in cap, and we would probably have more if I do decide to restructure. So let's see what we can do in free agency. Okay, well, this is a pretty strong free agent class. I will say I almost wish we had even a little more money, because, you know, we're having to pay a lot of money to these players to make them interested, but it's just what you gotta do when you're the Washington Commanders, unfortunately. But we're going for some pretty good ones. Nick Chubb is the best one here at a 98 overall. We're also going for Amon-Ra St. Brown, which would be a pretty massive addition. I'm surprised these players hit the market. We're also going for Javon Holland, which, you know, I checked his stats and they weren't very good. He has like no picks so far, but hopefully he'll somehow play better for us. I don't know. And then Khalil Mack, you know, he's a monster in this game. I feel like I've gotten him in each of the last like 3 rebuilds, but that's because he's like the one pass rusher that ever hits the market that actually does well when I sign them. But now that I say that, he's gonna suck, probably. But let's see if we can sign any of these players. They all sign except Holland, and we get all 3 of them. And with Holland, I don't know if I really want him too bad. We might just go with Derek Forrest. I mean, how about a 1 year for Forrest? And he doesn't take it. Okay, well, fine. So I guess we'll just go for Chuck Clark, because he has superstar dev. I mean, you have to play well to go up in dev trait. I don't even know if he has star in this game. He probably does. So, you know, at least he played well enough to get 1 dev trait. And then Foyesade Lukin, we still kind of need linebacker for sure. I mean, we did sign Chris Barnes, but if we can upgrade, we might as well upgrade. We'll take what we can get. So let's see if we can sign these 2 players. Lukin signs, Chuck Clark doesn't, and we're gonna have to simulate a week to sign him. Of course. Players are being so difficult in this rebuild. Couldn't imagine why. Okay, it looks like he does sign after we simulated the week, so that's pretty good. This is a really nice free agent class, and we should be able to do pretty well, but of course it is Madden simulation, so I guess you never know. But here in the draft, there is one obvious pick for us. There are some pretty good looking QBs, and I bet Stanley Kelly is a really high rated guy, but I don't want to give up on our QB already. We'll see if we can develop him. But Mike Binns looks absolutely insane. He has an A for everything except a lead block. I have never seen that. I've never taken a lineman this high, I don't think. His combine wasn't the best though. I mean, he's pretty strong. He's not that quick though. He's pretty slow, but I'm not worried about that when his ratings look like that. So let's go number 1 overall with Mike Binns out of Alabama. Of course, hidden dev, only 86 strength though, 63 speed. But you know, again, that is what I'm interested in right there. So we'll see what his overall is. I don't know. I've seen some really high overall linemen, so I guess we'll see if he is one of them. But now in the second round, there's some interesting players. Matthew Bass, a safety. He has good awareness, pursuit, tackle. He's not very fast though. Stephon Hanna looks pretty good. He has A-man coverage. He's decently quick, pretty strong, good jumping too. There are just a ton of safeties available in general. Not that it's like a massive need for us. Like, we have Band-Aid players there, but you know, I don't know what else to pick here. And then Jerry Wiggins, this corner, A-man coverage, B-zone, B-press. He's just not very fast. Well, he does have good speed apparently, great strength. What's his injury injury. B to D, shows good discipline though. He might be a really good player. Corner isn't like our biggest need in the world though, but I mean, he does look pretty good. Yeah, sure, he's probably gonna have normal dev, but Jerry Wiggins out of Kentucky, only 22 years old. Let's take him here. Okay, no, he does not have hidden, or he doesn't have normal. Was I saying normal? I meant, what I was meaning to say is he's probably gonna have normal, but he doesn't. He does have hidden. 91 speed. See, how can he have 91 speed with like 4.53 speed, but yet I can get like 4.38 speed players that also have 91 speed. I hate how that works. It's so dumb. But anyways, he looks like a pretty good corner. Oh, and we pick just a few picks later. Is that the safety I wanted that just... No, it was a strong safety. It was Stephon Hanna, but now that we picked a corner, I don't know if we want to go with another secondary player when we don't really need one, but we could. I mean, how do the linemen look here? Not great. Ooh, Channing Oliver looks maybe good. I hate players like this. How do you have 40 bench reps, but you have D power? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, I think we'll take him here. Mine as well. So another lineman, let's go with Channing Oliver out of Georgia. Hidden dev, only 92 strength. I mean, that's good. I thought it would be like 95 or something. I mean, it was 40 bench reps. I don't know, 92 isn't bad, but at least he has hidden dev. I don't think he's gonna be a crazy overall though. Again, that's why I just don't like how the whole combine thing works. Oh shit, I was gonna trade up. I just simulated the pick though. Oh well, it would have been for the safety. We don't really need safety anyways. So for our last pick, Matt Lucas looks pretty good. Elite speed and acceleration, elite change of direction, good ratings. Sure, let's go with Matt Lucas out of San Diego State. Okay, I think I'm learning how dev traits work. If they have bad injury, but they have good discipline, they'll have a hidden dev trait, at least I guess most of the time. But if they have good for both, they might not have a dev trait, it seems like sometimes. And then if they have bad injury and bad discipline, it seems like more often than not they won't have a good dev trait. I don't know, that's interesting, but I guess it kind of makes sense. I don't know, but I might make a few more picks and I'll see y'all for the draft recap. But here's how we did in the draft. We once again did pretty all right. Mike Binns is only a 78. I thought he would be like an 80 something, just not the most athletic player in the world. I think that's the big problem, but his ratings are still really good. 80 awareness as a rookie is interesting. And I think I saw he was like the third best player in the class. Yeah, there was a safety and a tight end. I wouldn't really be taking one of them, especially at number 1 overall. Oh, Chambers only has star too. Ooh, and Burrow, the tight end, has X factor, so that's interesting. But yeah, I'm very happy with our pick. That's pretty much the best pick we could have made. And Jerry Wiggins, 77 overall. Did he have a dev trait? I can't remember. Yeah, he did. So he'll start, and he looks really good. 82 man, 78 zone, 74 press, 95 excel, of course. Channing Oliver is a 74. He's actually a better overall than I thought he would be, so we'll definitely take that. I think he'll start. I guess we kind of needed a center, so we'll figure out what we want to do there. And then I can't remember which picks I showed. Did I show Matt Lucas? I think I did. He's a 75 overall with hidden. We absolutely crushed this draft. These are probably all first round talents right here, with Binns and maybe even Wiggins being top 5 talents. So we did well. And then I think, God, I can't remember if I even took Jeremiah Graham, but he looks solid. I think I did. He's a 70 overall. He's fine. I simulated it after that, and even the CPU, 71 overall running back, 69 overall defensive tackle, nice. And then Joe Harris is whatever, but this was a very, very good draft. I'm happy with it. And now let's get into year number 3. I feel like I got memory wiped overnight. I couldn't remember which players I took. I couldn't remember what year it is. I think it's year 3 though. But here is a look at the team heading into year 3 of the rebuild. We are looking pretty good now after a really good offense where we pretty much just overhauled this team. We added Nick Chubb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, 2 good rookie offensive linemen, Khalil Mack, Foye Lukun, Chuck Clark, a few really good good rookies on defense. I mean, we did some stuff to this team, and it's looking a lot better now at an 84 overall, 85 offense, 83 defense, and that should just continue to grow throughout the year. And hopefully Parrish, the big thing we're banking on is Jeremy Parrish being able to get a dev trait at the end of the year. Because if he doesn't, and he doesn't play well, then I don't know. I mean, if he plays well, he'll get a dev trait, and that'll be fine. But I mean, if he doesn't play well and doesn't get a dev trait, then we might be forced to look for a new QB again, which has been a big theme for this team. I mean, the last time this team has had a long-term QB, I guess it was what, Kirk Cousins, but even he wasn't there for a long term. But we'll see if we can finally find this team a franchise QB in Jeremy Parrish. But honestly, I'm ready to be disappointed by this team. I have a feeling it's just gonna happen, and we'll have to make a run in year 4, but you never know. So let's get into year 3, and we'll see how the team is doing at the midseason point. Okay, well, thankfully, in year number 3, we are doing much better at 6-1. The whole division is doing really well. All of them have a winning record, so we have some competition this year. Of course we do. It always seems like that. But I won't complain that we're doing well. I'll take that. But we have some players to re-sign here, and this is probably why we're doing well. We have to re-sign a good amount of our players. Terry McLaurin, 4 years, 67 mil. That's not too bad at all. That's actually really cheap. He takes it. Jonathan Allen, 1 year, 21 mil. He re-signs. Jahan Dotson, we have Gabe Davis, who's a higher overall. I'm sure Commanders fans would hate me if I didn't re-sign Jahan Dotson, but I'm not going to. It doesn't make sense to. So, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Kendall Fuller, we will sign for 2 years, 25 mil. He comes back. Jamin Davis, if he was interested, then sure, but he's not even our number 1 linebacker. He's cheap, but we're gonna run out of money if I keep paying everybody. Same goes for Chuck Clark. We'll see how he does by the end of the year. And how about Cam Robinson? How's he doing? Only 1 sack allowed? Well, we'll let him keep that up, because if I re-sign him, he will finish with 15 sacks allowed by the end of the year. We'll re-sign him at the end of the year. How about that? So only 30 mil left, but at least we got the key pieces from free agency back. But now, let's get to the end of the year, and we will see if we can keep it up. Alright, well, here we are at the end of year number 3, and super quick, before I reveal how we did in year number 3, can I say year number 3 enough times? I don't know. But be sure to subscribe if you have not already. You know, it'll make you an OG of the channel while you still can be one for when we inevitably hit 20 million subscribers. But whenever we hit 25k, I will have something special planned, as y'all know. So if you like Madden rebuilds, and if you've made it all the way here and you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe. What are you doing? Clearly you've enjoyed it, at least a little bit. And be sure to like the video if you haven't already. It really helps out the channel. And if we hit 1,000 likes, I'll do another one of these. So do it. And of course, let me know any fun rebuild ideas y'all have, or what team I should do a realistic rebuild of, because if I pick your comment, I'll give you a shout out. I'll drop you a sub. Just give me those good ideas, you know what I mean? But here's how the team is looking at the end of year 3, and Mike Binns has superstar dev, which is very nice. I mean, that's the best dev trait a lineman can have. Actually, that's not true. I've seen X Factor ones from the draft before, which is weird. I didn't know that was possible. I don't know what the point is, because they don't have X Factor abilities, but whatever. And on defense, Wiggins unfortunately only has star, but I mean, that's fine. He's still a really good player. But in year 3, we finished 12-5, easily making the playoffs. But let's see what our season stats look like. I see Jeremy Parrish over there. It looks like he had a good season. 4,800 yards, 35 touchdowns, 11 picks. Very good year from him. We will definitely take that. Nick Chubb, almost 1,500 yards, 5.3 per carry, 18 touchdowns. Having a running back who actually does well in this game is very important. I say one that does well and not one who is good for a reason. Like, you can have a high overall running back that just won't do well for some reason, but if you get one that actually does well in this game, it is very important. Like, I bet Isaiah Pacheco's a pretty high overall now. He only has 3.8 yards per carry. Yeah, he's an 87 overall. 3.8 isn't great. Breece Hall only has 3.8 yards per carry. Dalvin Cook only has 3.7, but that makes makes sense. He's kind of washed. But definitely a very, very good year from Nick Chubb. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 1,500 yards, or almost 1,500 yards, 17 touchdowns, 1,200 yards from Jeremiah Harper, 9 touchdowns. I forgot we're using the Chiefs offense, so he should get a dev trait in the offseason for sure, or 2, maybe. Probably just 1, but maybe deserving of superstar dev. And then Jahan Dotson, only 800 yards, only 500 from Terry McLaurin. Nick Chubb almost had as many receiving yards as Terry McLaurin. Also 550 receiving yards for Nick Chubb and 3 extra touchdowns. That's a 2,000-yard, 21 touchdown season. No biggie. Mike Binns wasn't great as a rookie. 10 sacks allowed. 7 for Mac Davis. He also wasn't great. Oliver wasn't great, but he was fine. Cam Robinson was really good. He was definitely our best lineman, and then Sam Cosmi was solid. Foye Oluokun with 115 tackles led the team. Tackles for loss, 25 for Jonathan Allen, 16 for Mac. We had a really good amount. And sacks, that's a little stupid, but 21 for Khalil Mack. This is why I signed Khalil Mack. He's still like prime Khalil Mack in this game, not current Khalil Mack, who's like good, but not defensive player of the year good anymore. He's just like good now, and you can see from his recent real life stats, like 8 sacks, 9 sacks, 6 sacks. I think he was hurt that year, to be fair. 8 sacks, like he's not dominant anymore, and he's never really been like a 20 sack guy. So I don't know, that's a little unrealistic, but it's better. I would prefer players playing like that than 80 overall superstars getting 3.5 sacks in a full starting season. Like, that's just brain dead as hell. Whatever. 8.5 sacks for Jonathan Allen, 5.5 for Daron Payne, and then interceptions, 4 for Kendall Fuller, 3 for Curl, 2 for Lukin and Forbes, and then 1 for a few players. But MVP goes to Patrick Mahomes. Finally not a division rival. Did they change Bryce Young's face? Is that the face he always had? I don't know. Also, I feel like I see a little speck of white next to his like left shoulder, I guess. Did they not fully trim it out right? That's an EA moment, but Jeremy Parrish up there at number 8. We'll take that. I was hoping you would be a little higher, but whatever. Offensive player of the year, of course, goes to Nick Chubb. Amon-Ra at number 3. We almost top 2, if not for Jalen Hurts. And Khalil Mack wins defensive player of the year. So we get offensive and defensive. But offensive rookie of the year goes to BJ Allen on the Panthers. No Commanders, unsurprisingly. And defensive rookie of the year goes to Kelvin Yankee. What a name. Jerry Wiggins at number 4. No other Commanders. Parrish was up there at 5 for best QB. Chubb won best running back. Amon-Ra won best receiver. I had a feeling it would be like that. Mac won best D lineman. Pretty good year, to say the least. But now it's time to lose in the playoffs, probably. Who are we going to be losing to? It's going to be some stupid team. No, it's the Philadelphia Eagles, which, you know, if we lost this, I wouldn't complain too much. I mean, they're an 86 overall. So are we, and we're at home, but still. We have a first of many game or scenario, and I'm surprised we don't have a playoff rival scenario, because, I mean, that's what we are to the Eagles. But we will go play it cool. Y'all know me. And did we have upgrades, or I saw something else. Is it upgrades? Yeah. Any important ones? Mike Binns, I would say that's pretty important. Our starting tackle, who probably needs upgrades. He didn't do very well. But now, let's simulate this game out and inevitably lose to the Eagles. Probably. Okay, no. Whenever I say we are going to lose, it seems like we win. Whenever I say, let's see if we can win, it seems like we lose. So I'll just keep saying we're gonna lose, and that might work. But now that I've said that out loud, we're probably gonna get smacked here. I don't know. But we have a recap for the first of many. I'm playing like insane mind games with a video game that can't even hear me playing mind games. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. But we get 7 staff points. We'll take that. You love to see it. Ooh, and we have an upgrade for Jeremy Parrish, up to an 82 now. And I think he had like a ridiculous amount of morale. He might be playing close to a 90. I think he's like an 88 now, if I had to guess, unless it just took morale away. Yeah, it did. Still an 87, but it is what it is. Still really good. So now let's inevitably lose to the 49ers. Wink, wink. You know what I'm saying? Nah, we'll definitely lose now. Okay, no, we don't, thankfully. I'm surprised, but we win 24-17. We have an upgrade for both of our defensive tackles, Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne. It's funny how that kind of happens, you know what I mean? It seems like sometimes players of the same position will get upgrades at the same time, despite if they're playing like completely differently, like one's doing really well and one's doing really poorly. I don't know. It's interesting. I feel like this game should give more XP for good play, because you'll have a receiver get like 1,500 yards and they'll only go from like a 70 to a 75, which is so goofy. But anyways, I've complained complained enough in this video, and we're going to be in the Super Bowl against the Cincinnati Bengals. Commanders Bengals as a Super Bowl was not exactly on my bingo card or anything, but I guess the Bengals make sense. And we make sense now. We do have a very good roster. We're probably like 3rd or 4th best in the NFL, if I had to guess. Yeah, the Ravens also have an 86. The 49ers have an 86. The Eagles have an 86. Ooh, the Chiefs only have an 85, so we're tied for, I guess, the best in the NFL. That's kind of crazy. It's rare to make the Super Bowl when you have the best roster in the NFL. In Madden, in real life, you know, sometimes it doesn't happen. Bad luck happens, injuries happen, but we don't have injuries here, so I guess it's all just bad luck or the game being stupid. I don't know. But anyways, we have a Super Bowl media day, but we will say, I don't know, it doesn't fucking matter. We'll go just the beginning. Sure, 10 staff points, we'll take it. And we have a hot opponent scenario. I mean, no shit, they're a hot opponent. They're in the Super Bowl. Like, we are too. I don't know what to tell you. We'll go be confident though. Plus 10, like everything for both teams, sure. And we have some upgrades before we get into the Super Bowl here. Ooh, Nick Chubb. I want to see if Jeremiah Harper did get a good dev trait. I'm hoping he at least got star, but we'll see if he got superstar. Okay, unfortunately only star. I mean, he's definitely deserving of superstar, but him getting it is a different story. But we have an upgrade for Russell Milton. He needs it. He's been fucking terrible. And now let's jump into the Super Bowl and we will see if we can somehow not get destroyed by the Bengals, but we will probably lose this game. I probably should have restarted my game before this. It's gonna lag so bad. It's gonna take 40 minutes to load up. Madden is like the only game that gives my PC problems, which is weird because it's not like, especially with franchise is just like a flat screen. There's nothing going on. I don't know, with like in the games it makes a little more sense, but it's not that crazy. But here we go in, I think, Super Bowl 60, and let's see if we can take down the Cincinnati Bengals. We score early to make it 7-0, but they are driving and they score to tie it at 7. We drive, but it looks like we end up punting. Now it's just a punt fest. The Bengals score, I think, after half, but we tie it at 14. They kick a field goal, but we get a touchdown to make it 21-17, and we are driving again to make it 24-17, and that's going to be the final score as we get the Washington Commanders a Super Bowl. They don't even have team-colored confetti in this game. I've never noticed that. That's kind of weird. It's just red, white, and blue. I guess the like maroon and gold and yellow would be kind of ugly, but I don't know. I have the controversial take that I actually kind of like their uniforms. But looking at them here, it makes me realize the number is fucking ugly. Damn, Mikey McDingle had some big-ass eyes there. I think I forgot to make him super fat. He looks just kind of normal there. What am I talking about? Jeremy Parrish was almost perfect on his passes. 95% completion percentage. 23 of 24. 251 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Good lord. Nick Chubb got kind of shut down, but the passing game definitely didn't. Khalil Mack got a sack, 2 tackles for loss. Really good game from him. No picks. It feels like the numbers were really low in this Super Bowl. Like, no quarterback had insane passing yards. No running back had good rushing yards. Just interesting. I guess it was kind of low scoring, though. But not that low scoring. But either way, we get our first Super Bowl of the rebuild. And we get the Commanders out of poverty. We have a recap for the hot opponent. What's the point of this? For the Pro Bowl? Or no, the Pro Bowl's already happened, and we're obviously not going to have anyone in it. All right, cool. Oh, I guess we get XP. Okay, that's cool. But now let's get into the offseason, and we will head into the 4th and final year of this rebuild. It is going to be the final year, no matter what happens, because this one's already a success. We even have Emmanuel Forbes playing up to an 80 overall. I feel like he's just too small, honestly. Is he 180? I thought he was like 160. I don't know. He just gets kind of bullied. But we had a shitload of upgrades there. And now for the rest of the players that we're going to have to re-sign. Brian Robinson, I'm good. Jahan Dotson, honestly, I'm good. We only really use, I guess, 2 receivers anyways, and I don't want to pay 4 when we're going to use 2. Just doesn't make sense mathematically. Emmanuel Forbes, I mean, we're not going to get to the 5th year for him anyways, so it's whatever. How did Chuck Clark do? We could re-sign him, or we could look to upgrade. I don't know. No picks. 4 pass deflections. I think I'm good. I think we'll upgrade there. No thanks. Cam Robinson, I absolutely want back. I know he's going to play like dog shit once I re-sign him, but 3 years, 39 mil, he comes back. I mean, it would be stupid to not re-sign him because he was so good, but it also feels stupid to re-sign him because I know he's going to be awful now that we did pay him. And then Jamin Davis, he's interested now. Would he take team friendly 3 or 2 years, 14 mil? He does. Okay. I don't think I've ever seen a player actually take team friendly. But I'm cool with it. So now we'll restructure some more contracts, and we should have a surprisingly decent amount of money in free agency. I know we only have 9 mil now, but we'll see what happens. All right, well, honestly, for the last year of the rebuild, I'm going to ignore realism. We're trading Milton to the Eagles for a first-round pick. I mean, Milton is like, he has a lot of potential. He's an 80 overall or 81 overall with superstar dev, only like 25. He's been so awful, though. He has like, what, 6.5 combined sacks through the last 2 years, which is so stupid that that can even happen. I mean, think about it this way. Casey Toohill in real life had more sacks as a rotational guy in like 100 snaps than Milton, an 80 overall superstar, has gotten in, I guess, full 1,000 snap seasons. Like, that's dumb. That's just stupid. Also, I don't even know how Milton got superstar. He originally just had star. I don't know where. Maybe it was the tackles for loss. He did get good tackles for loss, but I don't care. I want sacks, so he's gone to the Eagles for a first-round pick. And I have big plans. We're gonna do some stuff. And here we are gonna be trading Ricky Stromberg, a first-round pick, and a second-round pick for Aiden Hutchinson. I think he was like 3rd in the NFL for sacks this year. Maybe even 2nd. I don't know. He had like 16. Yeah, he was tied for 3rd with Jeffrey Simmons, which is interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen Jeffrey Simmons up here, but I mean, that's a combined almost 40 sacks this last year between 2 players. What is that, 37? That's ridiculous, so we'll take that. And I don't think we're done with the trading yet. We're gonna trade Daron Payne to Seattle for a second-round pick. This is just a big cap dump, which, you know, maybe isn't necessary, but there are a couple more players I want to go for in free agency, so this will just help that out. And I have a plan to replace Daron Payne immediately. Definitely losing the realism here, but oh well. Who cares? We already won a Super Bowl somewhat realistically, so who cares? But there are some pretty good players available in free agency. Jalen Ramsey is the big one, and we are going to go for him. After that, I mean, I guess there's a little bit of a fall off. I mean, that's to be expected if there's a 98 overall here, but you know, there's some other decent players, but nobody we really need down here necessarily. But we are going to go for a few other players. We're going to go for Connor Williams, Grady Jarrett as the replacement to Daron Payne, and Micah Hyde. We do have the lead for all of these players, not necessarily a lead for Jalen Ramsey, but we are at least tied for the lead, and I went very player friendly, so I'm doing all I can to get him. Still, the Seahawks and Chargers do have good offers for him, but now let's see if we can get any of these players. They all sign except Connor Williams, and we get all 3 of them: Jalen Ramsey, Grady Jarrett, and Micah Hyde. Connor Williams not signing kind of sucks. We're not going to be able to get him, but he doesn't usually play well in this game anyways, so I'm actually kind of okay with that. What about Ethan Posick, or Pochich, however the hell you say his name? I don't know. I'm a Seahawks fan. I should know, but I don't. But we are offering him very player friendly, and we will see if he takes it, and he does not. All right. I guess we're not signing a new center. That's fine, though. I mean, the guy we have now didn't do great, obviously, but that'll just give us something to draft. So speaking of that, let's get to the draft. But here in the draft, it's kind of crazy to go. I didn't even think of this. We were the worst team in the NFL last year, and now we're the best. We went from number 1 back-to-back years to now number 32 picks. The Saints have the number 1 pick here, which, you know, if you haven't seen my rebuild of them yet, we're almost to the end of this. Be sure to watch that after this. It'll probably even show up in the end screen of this video. That was definitely a very hard one, too. The last 2 I've done have been extremely hard, but, you know, we've gotten there eventually in both of them. But with our first pick, there's really not much we need except for offensive line. That's really our only need, and it's not even that big of a need. I mean, we kind of need offensive line. I wouldn't even really say it's make or break, though. Like, whoa, there's an undrafted guard who had a lot of bench reps, and he's 343 pounds. That's interesting. We might take him later. But yeah, I want to take a lineman. Just none of the ones who are left here look good. There were a couple good-looking ones, but oh, yeah, these guys don't look too great. Marcus Perkins here at least has good strength, but he's not supposed to go until the 3rd or the 4th round. So with our first pick, I guess we'll just take Eric Saxton, just because he's the best-looking one who's supposed to go in this range-ish. There is a decent-looking tackle, too, but we don't really need tackle. We more so need interior. So yeah, let's go with Eric Saxton as our first pick. Hidden dev, good strength, good jumping for whatever that's worth. He looks solid. I think I'm only going to show 2 picks in this draft. I might only take these 2 picks. And now let's go with Marcus Perkins. He was the strong one, right? Yeah, good strength. How does... I hate how this works. Marcus Perkins, 36 bench reps at the combine in his pro day. Good strength. Sam Gannon, 35 reps at his combine, 34 at his pro day. Great strength. I mean, I know bench press doesn't always tell the full story. Like, you know, weird stuff can happen, but in Madden, I feel like it just needs to be straightforward. Does the player have higher bench press numbers? Yes. Are they the stronger player? Yes. That's how it needs to be, but whatever. We'll go with Marcus Perkins here. 88 strength, also good jumping, good agility for a lineman, really good excel. We'll take it. He looks pretty good. But now I'll see y'all for the draft recap. But here is how we did in the draft. This definitely wasn't our best draft yet. It wasn't a very good draft in general, but Eric Saxton, only a 72 overall. I might even move him to tackle so he's at least a scheme fit there. I mean, he's going to be a backup either way. What's his overall at center, actually? Because that's where we would play him. Only a 71, so we won't do that. He'll just be a backup tackle. That's fine. And then Marcus Perkins is definitely the better of the two at a 73. He is only a 72 at center, but I mean, that's where we drafted him to play, so we will move him there. We could even shift around the O-line more. And someone interesting is Troy Rose. He's like one of the better projected day 3 D linemen I've ever seen. Whoa, I saw 95 tackle, but he's playing with plus 13 for some reason. But he had A power moves, A tackle. It's still an 82 for his tackles, so he's an interesting player. He's also 5'11", 240 as a power rusher. That's really weird. I feel like he could be a player that has a really good dev trait, but I feel like whenever I say that, they only have like star dev, so I don't know. And then I simulated the rest of this out. The CPU did all right, but now let's get into year number 4 of the rebuild. But here's a look at the team heading into the 4th and final year of the rebuild. This team is good. 88 overall heading into the season, and I'm not gonna list over everything on the team. Y'all have seen the team enough times, but it's a really good one. And then here is a look at our defense. Obviously some changes here. I mean, we added Jalen Ramsey, Micah Hyde, Aiden Hutchinson, Grady Jarrett. Definitely some changes on this side of the ball compared to the offense, or more changes, I guess I should say. We're an 88 overall, 88 offense, 88 defense, really well-rounded team. I wouldn't really say we even have a weakness on this team other than, I guess, the interior of our offensive line, but that's about it. So now let's get straight to the end of the year and we will see how this team does. Can't wait to go 9-8 and miss the playoffs. Okay, well, in year number 4, we finish 11-6 and we make the playoffs once again. Now, we probably should have been better with probably the best roster in the NFL, but it's better than missing the playoffs, that's for sure. 89 overall now. I mean, we are looking amazing. Our draft did literally nothing for us, but it is what it is. I mean, it's maybe a good thing that we're such a good team that the draft doesn't even matter, but I maybe could have traded those picks for another player, but oh well. I didn't want it to get too unrealistic. But Jeremy Parrish actually wasn't that good this year. 3,800 yards is fine. 27 touchdowns is fine. 9 picks is fine. The completion percentage wasn't great. He was like fine to maybe even below average. I mean, in real life, this would be a good stat line, but here this is just like meh. But he was whatever this year. Nick Chubb, oh my God. Almost 1,600 yards, 5.9 yards per carry, 30 touchdowns. Is that the most ever for a running back in a year? Probably. We'll check the NFL records. I thought the record was like 27 or something. Is it like Sean Alexander or something, or like LT? I don't know. I guess we'll see in a second. Jeremiah Harper, 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns, but not a great amount from the receivers. They were good though. And blocking, Cam Robinson wasn't great, but that's whatever. I didn't expect him to be great. Mike Binns was solid. Mac Davis was fine. Channing Oliver was solid, and Sam Cosmi was pretty good. And then Jamin Davis, 107 tackles for loss, 20 for Hutchinson, 17 for Garrett. I mean, a really good amount overall again. And sacks, 16 for Khalil Mack, led the team, 11.5 for Hutchinson, 11 for Allen, 6.5 for Garrett, so very good defensive line. And then interceptions, 5 for Ramsey, led the team, 3 for Davis and Hyde, 2 for Fuller and Wiggins, and then 1 for Alukin. It looks like our defense and our run game definitely carried this year. MVP goes to Josh Allen. Nick Chubb up there at number 8. Offensive Player of the Year obviously goes to Nick Chubb. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Nick Bosa. Bosa, Mack at 4, Hutchinson at 5, Allen at 7. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Tevin Dawkins for the Panthers. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Will Flowers for the Eagles. So a very good year outside of our QB. Our QB wasn't great, but everyone else did very well, it seems like. And we still had the number 2 scoring offense in the NFL with 28.2 points per game. But I do want to see, unless someone, broke the record in this simulation, which is possible, Nick Chubb's all-time number 3 for rushing touchdowns now. But yeah, 30 is the record. LT with 28, and then Priest Holmes, Sean Alexander, and now Jonathan Taylor all have 27. All right. I forgot Priest Holmes was up here. I didn't even know that. That's interesting. But in the playoffs, we're going to be taking on the Packers. I kind of wonder who their QB is. Do they still have Jordan Love? Did they go with a different guy now? I don't know. It's still Jordan Love. Still hasn't gotten a dev trade or anything, so he probably hasn't been doing very well. I mean, he's been okay, which is, I guess kind of how he's been in real life too. Just all right. Ironically, the 2 quarterbacks I thought would be pretty big breakouts this year, Jordan Love and Sam Howell, both have been just okay. I mean, neither of them have been terrible. They've been all right. But anyways, enough rambling. I can't wait to get upset by an 83 overall team when we're an 89. So let's see what happens. Oh my God. I hate this game. We lose to an 83 overall Packers team 31-21. It wasn't even particularly close. But hey, at least we got a Super Bowl in this rebuild. We should have had 2. I would bet that we're the best team in the NFL by at least a couple overall, maybe just 1. No, maybe by a few. The Eagles are an 86, we're an 89, the Chiefs have an 87. So we are the best team in the NFL by 2 overall. But if not for the Chiefs, it would be by 3. So that's a certified EA moment. But I'm not going to complain too much. We got a Super Bowl for the Commanders, which is an achievement itself. And we have now made the best team in the NFL by a decent amount. But again, that's all for today's video. I really hope y'all enjoyed. And if you did, be sure to, help a brother out. You know what I'm saying? Be sure to drop a like. Be sure to subscribe. 1,000 likes and I'll do another realistic rebuild. And 25K and I got something very special planned. But thank you all so much for watching. And with that, I'll see y'all again in the next video. Goodbye.